All right, let's dive right into this explainer and explore how to systematically take back control of our IT infrastructure. If you've been working with servers for any length of time, you know exactly how quickly things can go from perfectly organized to absolute chaos. So today, we're going to demystify a tool that takes all that chaos and turns it into a perfectly streamlined, predictable operation. Managing a single server? Piece of cake. Logging in to tweak a firewall rule is trivial. But what happens when your infrastructure scales to 10, 100, or even 1,000 servers? Suddenly, you're losing countless hours to repetitive manual tasks, you're hunting down SSH keys, dealing with scripts that work on one machine but completely bomb on another, and Jen's generally pulling your hair out. That is exactly why we need a better way. Enter Ansible. This is an open-source, industry-standard tool from Red Hat, and it is a total game-changer for automating your infrastructure. Whether you're a sysadmin, a developer, or managing some massive cloud environment, Ansible becomes your central command. It lets you configure systems and orchestrate complex deployments without all those typical headaches.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're covering from chaos to automation, mapping your infrastructure, the power of playbooks, securing your secrets, and finally, troubleshooting common errors. Let's kick things off with part 1, from chaos to automation.
So, why is Ansible so incredibly popular? The magic word here is agentless. A lot of automation tools force you to install and babysit resource-hogging software agents on every single target machine. Ansible doesn't do that at all. It simply piggybacks on standard SSH. All your target machine needs is Python, which is probably already there anyway. And on your end, you just write out what you want using simple, human-readable YAML. It is literally that lightweight and secure.
Moving right along to part 2, mapping your infrastructure.
Before you can boss your servers around, Ansible needs to know who to talk to. That's your inventory file. Think of it as your digital address book, which by default is hanging out at /etc/Ansible/hosts. You use this file to group servers together, like grouping all your web servers or databases. This makes it ridiculously easy to target an entire fleet of machines with just one command. Now, you've got 2 main ways to format this address book. On the left, there's the classic INI format. Super simple, very common, you just pop your group names inside brackets. But if you want to get a bit more advanced, you've got YAML on the right. YAML is awesome because it lets you build these nested, hierarchical relationships using the children tag. It gives you some really granular control when your network starts getting huge.
But wait, what if you're running in AWS or Azure? Servers are spinning up and vanishing every few minutes. A static text file is absolutely useless there. That's exactly where dynamic inventory swoops in. Ansible can actually talk directly to your cloud provider and pull a real-time list of nodes. Your address book practically updates itself, scaling up and down effortlessly right alongside your infrastructure.
All right, let's get into the fun stuff. Part 3, the power of playbooks. Before we go writing massive automation scripts, we have to talk about ad hoc commands. Think of these as quick text messages sent to your servers. Let's say you just need to check if your machines are awake. You define your target, call a module, like the ping module, using the -m flag, and hit execute. Boom! Ansible instantly reaches out to every single machine. It's the perfect way to do a quick health check or restore a rogue service.
But when you're ready for the heavy lifting, you write a playbook. If an ad hoc command is a text message, a playbook is your official company instruction manual. It's a reusable YAML file, and the coolest part is that it's declarative. You don't micromanage how Ansible does its job step by step. You just declare the exact end state you want, like ensure this firewall is configured, and Ansible figures out the rest. It's brilliant.
Of course, as you scale, you need a little discipline. Always keep your inventory names simple. Keep everything in a single Git repo to start with. Seriously, version control is your best friend here. Make sure your team agrees on a style guide for whitespace and tagging, because YAML can be pretty picky. And a quick pro tip, don't over-engineer things on day 1. Start with basic playbooks and refactor them later.
Which brings us to part 4, securing your secrets.
Okay, let's address the massive elephant in the room. Hard-coding plain text passwords or SSH keys right into your playbooks? Yeah, that is a security nightmare. If someone gets unauthorized access to your Git repo, they literally have the keys to your entire kingdom. We absolutely have to find a way to use credentials without leaving them lying around in plain text.
Enter Ansible Vaults. This is a built-in lifesaver that lets you encrypt your sensitive files using heavy-duty AES 256 encryption. It's incredibly straightforward. You use the Ansible Vault command to create a file, lock it with a master password, and you're good to go. You can safely edit, view, or rekey that file whenever you need to, completely shielding your secrets from prying eyes. And when it's actually time to run that playbook, you just tack on the Ask Vault Pass flag. Ansible will securely prompt you for the master password right there in the terminal. It decrypts your secrets on the fly in memory, applies them to your servers, and finishes the job without ever leaking a single thing to your repos or logs. So smooth. Finally, Part 5, Troubleshooting Common Errors.
Look, we've all been there. You hit execute and your terminal just lights up with red text. It is a gut punch. But here's the secret. Most of the time, you didn't make some massive architectural mistake. The culprit is usually just a tiny, annoying formatting quirk.
So let's look at how to fix them. If you get an indentation error, remember that YAML absolutely hates tabs. Ditch them. Use spaces, usually just 2 per level. If your Jinter2 variables are acting up, make sure you give them some breathing room with spaces inside those curly brackets. And if your text has special characters like colons, put quotes around the whole string so Ansible doesn't get confused and think it's a formatting command.
Now, what if it's a permission denied error? Just make sure you're using privilege escalation correctly. Add become true to your playbook tasks and pass the ask become pass flag when you run it. And if SSH is flat out failing on you, don't panic. Check your firewalls, run a basic ping test, and double-check that your target machine's key is actually sitting in your controller's known_hosts file.
All right, we've covered the whole journey today, from mapping out hosts to securely executing encrypted playbooks. So, as you look to level up from chaos to control in your own environment, I'll leave you with this. What is the most painful, mind-numbing server task you have to do every week? And how quickly are you going to eliminate it with your new Ansible skills?